Hey guys, I got another earphone for you guys to review. This is Mangird Xenns T2. I think it's called Mangird, I'm not sure, but yeah, anyways, I'm gonna just call it the T2s. So these are the new ones. These look absolutely amazing. I haven't seen an IM that looks this nice. And the camera doesn't quite do it the justice, but it's very sparkly. So yeah, that's good. So I'm going to talk about the cable, fit, build, and finish. So the cable is very, very good. Like, this cable feels like a $50 or $100 cable. Like, there's no memory to it, so it doesn't get tangled up. As you can see, even if you go like that, it doesn't tangle up, which is good. And then I think, yeah, this is a 2-pin connector here. So yeah, one thing I'm gonna note about the build is I do wish this part was, had like the rubberized effect all over it, because the Variations does have that, and it definitely helps with the comfort, because this plastic could get a little uncomfortable. But yeah, other than that, no issues. It stays in your ears really well. And yeah, I don't have that many complaints. The fit is like a standard earphone, like a Oracle or any The Audio product. So I do wish they changed the nozzle on these earphones, because they all have the same nozzle and it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's the standard nozzles are a little too thick, so yeah, that's one gripe. Yeah, other than that, solid. I don't have that many complaints. So yeah, let's talk about the sound. So let's start off with the bass. The bass is really, really present. It's punchy, controlled. Yeah, good amount. It has, I would say there's a little, the sub bass is really present, but then in the vocals, there's like a slight bit of a mid bass lift to keep everything engaging, I feel like. So the vocals are going to have that airy vocal type of sound. So yeah, the bass and the mid-range are really close together. The bass extends all the way. It is slightly elevated, so compared to like the Blessing 2, it has a little more bass. But then when you compare it to the Variations, it has a little less bass. But yeah, the bass is actually really, really good on these. You get a lot of control. And yeah, it just has an immense amount of control actually in the bass regions. I just wish it was a little toned down. So the bass does get a little too much, and I had the same problem with the Variations. But yeah, I mean, it's still really, really good. It doesn't get out of hand like the Variations bass does sometimes. So yeah, I'm not sure why companies can't fix the bass. It's not that hard. Just make it flat, or yeah, add a little bit of boost. So yeah. Onto the mids. Now the mids on these are like full-bodied mids, like full-bodied. And I haven't heard any IM like that other than the U12T. So the U12T has like that full-bodied mid-range where it just like engulfs you in like every single nuance in the mid-range. And yeah, it's just very, very full-bodied. You pick up a lot of clarity in the mid-range. Like, I'm gonna compare it to a few IMs. So the Variations and the Timeless I reviewed, they have like a thin mid-range. So it doesn't sound really that natural when you listen to something like this. Like, this just sounds full-bodied, not shouty or pushed back, but it's like right on the edge of being shouty, but not there. Like if shout is over here, this is like right there. So it's not on the level of shouty, it's just full bodied. So when you hear any voices, it's gonna have like, just like, it just takes over the song. And then when you're listening to something that's slightly more, it doesn't emphasize the mid-range as much, it's still going to be full-bodied, but the placement of it will be a little pushed back. So the mids are absolutely mind-blowing on this earphone. And when I first heard it, I was thinking about the U12T, actually. Because I feel like when you pack 6 drivers for the mid-range, you're going to get something that sounds really good. Like, so companies should start looking into that more. They should focus more on the mid-range because that's where a lot of this stuff happens. So yeah, the mid-range, absolutely stellar. You pick up every single like nuance in the vocals. So the instruments, on the other hand, are more of like the background noise. But like the vocals are in general pretty forward, but not like overly forward. So yeah, that's the vocals. I really, really enjoy it actually. So compared to like the Timeless or the Variation or the Oracle that has those Sony tweeters or whatever, this sounds way more natural. Like if you listen to the Variations or Timeless and put this on, it's just gonna sound way more natural. Like there's no like grain to the sound. There's no odd noises. Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, so like for example, if you listen to a piano note or a guitar note, it's gonna sound extremely well bodied. Like, so on let's say on like the 7Hz Timeless or the Variations, the notes are slightly thin, so you hear like a tss noise. But this one, it's gonna be like tss. Like, I don't know, it just emphasizes it way better. And I feel like when you pack, again, this has, I think, one dynamic driver. So in my opinion, I'm not even sure if this needed a dynamic driver, because the bass is already more than good enough. But I guess it's for a little more punchiness or whatnot. So yeah, that's really good. Yeah, onto the highs. The highs are exceptionally clear. I was listening to pop and all that, and the highs actually come through perfectly. So I would say the strong points of this earphone are the mids and the highs. Like, they shine. What I don't like about this earphone is the bass. Like, bass just, sometimes it sounds too much. And yeah, I wish the bass was slightly dialed back. But other than that, the mids and the treble frequencies sound stellar. Like, they sound more full than like the Oracle. And yeah, and the Variations. Basically, I think any IEM I tried, other than the U12T, this has the fullest mid-range sound. Like, period, not close, natural, engaging, and everything. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the soundstage and imaging now. The soundstage is, like, I would say, like, this far. So not like this, but it's like this. So you get a little bit of right left field, but nothing insane. And then the imaging, I would say it's surprisingly pretty good. So I do pick up where everything is. And for the price, it sounds about right. Like, this sounds really, really good. It just wipes the blessing too. That's not even a comparison. The bass is better. Way more control. It goes lower. The mid-range, extremely clear and full-bodied. And then the treble, again, more presence and a more airy sound. So yeah, these are surprisingly really good. If they wanted to make this even better, I think they should control the bass a little better. Maybe rubberize this part of the earphone. And try to make the housing a little smaller. But yeah, other than that, I actually really like these. They just sound really natural. So whenever you hear like all these other type of driver technologies, they're really good, but you're gonna notice that the balanced armatures are actually a little more natural sounding than any other type of driver. And yeah, I feel like the balanced armatures they just provide the best amounts of sound, at least for now. Until the dynamic drivers catch up and the other ones. So yeah, this is very natural. It's lifelike. Like, it just sounds like you're just listening to music. You're not really analyzing it. And I have a bunch of IEMs where it feels like I'm analyzing the music. So this one, you're just enjoying it. So yeah, I really, really do like this set. I am going to have to listen to it a little more to make comparisons. But yeah, these are my initial impressions. And yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. Take care, guys.